Hello everyone, and welcome to Unveiling Mythical Legends. Have you ever imagined seeing the world with your mind's eye? That's right. Without relying on telescopes, drones, or even turning on a computer, being able to witness the real scenes on the other side of the world. It sounds like something out of a movie. But according to declassified documents from the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, it's all real. Today, we're diving deep into a top-secret operation that spans the Cold War, science, and mystery. Project Stargate, a decades-long U.S. government program studying remote viewing and psychic spies. The main figure is the enigmatic psychic pioneer Ingo Swann, who reportedly used his mind to remotely view Jupiter, uncover anomalies on the moon, and even took part in classified military missions. This film explores Swann's book Penetration, revealing the true experiments and applications of psychic espionage conducted by the government. If you're fascinated by psychic powers, CIA secret programs, remote viewing agents, Cold War intelligence battles, declassified files, the Stargate project, or Ingo Swann, you definitely don't want to miss this. Ready? A real story more shocking than sci-fi begins now. Have you ever imagined having a superpower that lets you see what's happening on the other side of the world without using telescopes, drones, or even leaving your home? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But according to some real historical documents, this ability not only exists but was officially adopted by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, and used in secret military missions. Today, we're diving deep into a mysterious and captivating topic, the psychic spy, and a globally shocking book closely tied to it, Penetration, published in 1998 by Ingo Swann. Imagine intelligence agents seeing thousands of miles away with their minds, without any high-tech instruments, satellites, radar, or spy planes. They could even observe events from the past or future. Sounds like science fiction, right? But the truth is even more incredible. In 2017, the CIA declassified a massive trove of documents, over 12 million pages, containing unbelievable records of psychological and paranormal experiments. Among these files, the name Ingo Swann prominently appears, proving that this mysterious figure truly participated in the top-secret program known as Project Stargate. The so-called Project Stargate isn't about watching the news on TV. This program was actually a secret U.S. government effort during the Cold War to overcome the limitations of traditional intelligence gathering by studying a supernatural ability called remote viewing. So, what exactly is remote viewing? Simply put, it's a mysterious power that allows someone to mentally travel across space and time without relying on planes or satellites, using only their consciousness to perceive distant or past and future events. It's like having a mind's eye to see the world, whether it's a hidden military base overseas or an event about to happen in the future, all visible clearly through the mind. Ingo Swann was the key figure behind this technique and is considered the father of modern remote viewing. Not only did he participate in experiments, but he repeatedly demonstrated extraordinary psychic perception that amazed scientists. These experiments weren't pure mysticism. They were conducted under strict scientific protocols, with the U.S. government investing huge sums of money, hoping to gain an edge in the intelligence war. Imagine, in the tense era of the Cold War, the government secretly training agents with mental superpowers who could travel through space and time with their minds to gather enemy secrets. This not only challenged our understanding of the world, but also made remote viewing one of the most mysterious and eerie chapters in Cold War history. In other words, remote viewing isn't just about having clairvoyance, it's about being a true time traveler. This isn't some fantasy plot from a novel, but something clearly documented in the U.S. government's declassified files, specifically in the Project Sunstreak documents. This project is considered the precursor to Project Stargate, and it explains in detail what remote viewing is. Using the mind to perceive information over long distances and even across time. Whether it's the future or the past, it can be captured. Simply put, It's a kind of supersensory ability of the spirit. Sounds a bit like a superpower, right? Exactly. But this wasn't some comic book or movie fantasy. It actually happened during the Cold War. So, why did the CIA invest so many resources into studying something that sounds so incredible, even a little mystical? The answer lies in the tense global atmosphere of that era. During the Cold War, the US and the Soviet Union were locked in fierce competition, with intelligence warfare raging intensely. Traditional spy techniques and reconnaissance tools were important, but had many limitations. Enemy locations were well hidden, technology had its restrictions, and even satellite surveillance couldn't capture all critical intel. So, the US government began searching for unconventional intelligence-gathering methods, trying to harness mental and supernatural powers to open new fronts. Remote viewing was the breakthrough they pinned their hopes on. A group of top scientists and agents within the government, both skeptical and hopeful, embarked on a series of rigorously designed experiments to prove the feasibility and practicality of remote viewing. Ingo Swann was one of the key figures in these experiments, and his performance exceeded everyone's expectations, earning the technology high-level government attention. Eventually, the results of these experiments became a mysterious secret weapon for U.S. intelligence operations, even playing a crucial role in certain missions. During the tense Cold War era of the 1960s, the Soviet Union and the United States were locked in fierce competition, not only in missile and space races, but also in intelligence warfare. In 1970, the CIA received a shocking classified report revealing that the Soviets were secretly investing massive amounts of money, up to 60 million rubles annually, into human psychic experiments, aiming to develop psychic abilities for intelligence gathering. This news spurred the US into action, thinking, hey, we can't let the Soviets get ahead. So the US immediately launched its own supernatural intelligence program, starting with an experiment called Project Skynet. This later evolved into Project Sunstreak, and eventually was consolidated and renamed Project Stargate. The program was jointly funded by the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, and the CIA, with the Stanford Research Institute tasked with conducting the experiments and research. The program's two most famous physicists, Russell Targ and Harold Puthoff, stood at the forefront of this boundary between science and the supernatural. They were not just theorists but also active experimenters, rigorously applying scientific methods to test so-called telepathy and remote viewing technologies. In 1972, the secretive and almost sci-fi project, known as Project Stargate, was officially launched. This mysterious program continued for over 20 years, lasting until 1995. During these 2 decades, the research team conducted thousands of experiments with a diverse group of participants, not only military veterans but also civilians who claimed to have psychic abilities, including artists and novelists who were invited to join. These individuals would use their psychic perception to create drawings on paper of highly classified military bases and terrains located thousands of miles away, based on provided photos, geographic coordinates, or keywords. Surprisingly, some of these psychic drawings were astonishingly accurate, far exceeding what could be explained by mere guesswork. This not only shocked many scientists, but also led intelligence agencies to take the potential of these supernatural abilities seriously. Imagine, through these participants' psychic maps, intelligence operatives could obtain detailed information about enemy bases without relying on any traditional reconnaissance equipment. In the tense atmosphere of the Cold War, this was undeniably a significant strategic advantage. Of course, Project Stargate was not without controversy. Remote viewing itself remains difficult to fully explain with conventional science, and many have questioned its authenticity and consistency. Nevertheless, the mere existence of this program challenged the boundaries of what we thought were the limits of human perception. Did you know? Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, who passed away in 2024, revealed an astonishing story in a 2016 interview with CG magazine. He said that during his presidency, an American plane mysteriously disappeared somewhere in Africa, and despite an extensive military search, no trace of it could be found. The CIA director at the time, Stansfield Turner, said, "I know a psychic woman living in California who might be able to help." Carter was initially skeptical, but surprisingly, this woman gave very specific coordinates. Even more astonishing, the military actually found the plane wreckage at that exact location. It was like a miracle. Such paranormal cases were far from isolated. Project Stargate was full of similar stories. For example, using remote viewing to observe Soviet nuclear missile sites, locate kidnapped hostages, and even predict the outcomes of certain military operations. The accuracy of some of this intelligence was so eerie that it left both the participants and commanders stunned. Imagine, what seemed like an ordinary psychic perception became a crucial tool in life-saving missions and winning intelligence battles. Let me introduce 3 of the most elite remote viewers: Ingo Swann, Joseph McMoneagle, and Pat Price. Each is hailed as a superhero of the psychic world, with legendary achievements and countless remarkable stories. Ingo Swann's story sounds like something out of a science fiction novel, yet it is a mysterious legend that truly unfolded in our time. From a young age, he exhibited abilities beyond ordinary understanding. He could see things others couldn't and sense paranormal messages hidden behind reality. Some called it the yin-yang eye, claiming he could see ghosts and spirits, while others used a more scientific term, ESP, extrasensory perception. Regardless, his extraordinary powers made him one of the most enigmatic and controversial figures of the 20th century, attracting direct attention from the U.S. government and scientific institutions. In 1973, SRI International, a research institute in the U.S., invited Swann to participate in what seemed like a crazy scientific experiment, to remotely view Jupiter using his remote viewing ability. The idea sounded almost like a fantasy at the time. A person using only their mind to see the true appearance of a distant planet? How could that be possible? Initially, Swann was skeptical and refused to cooperate, asking, "You haven't even been to Jupiter. How do you know if what I say is right?" The researchers reassured him, "Don't worry, NASA's Pioneer 10 probe is already on its way to Jupiter. In a few months, we'll have data to compare, and then you'll see." So began Swann's famous remote viewing experiment. He described Jupiter as having a ring of bands surrounding it, thick clouds constantly swirling, and enormous cyclones raging within. At the time, the scientific consensus was that Jupiter had no rings, but months later, NASA's Pioneer 10 sent back photos and data that shocked everyone. The description Swann gave matched the probe's findings almost perfectly, as if he truly saw that distant world with his mind's eye. This revelation not only stunned the scientific community, but also brought unprecedented attention and credibility to remote viewing as a form of extrasensory perception. Not only that, Swann conducted multiple remote viewing experiments on the Moon, Mars, and even Venus. While observing the Moon, he astonishingly reported seeing an underground base with structures resembling buildings, and he sensed a kind of conscious presence monitoring his movements. This experience was later detailed in his book Penetration, where he openly shared his extraordinary journey beyond the boundaries of ordinary reality. These accounts led many researchers to reconsider the possibility that human perception might far exceed the known limits of the physical world. Swann's abilities were no accident. His natural talent combined with dedication made him a prime focus for the U.S. government's intense interest and research. During the CIA and Defense Intelligence Agency's joint-funded Project Stargate, he was one of the key remote viewing agents. Through his remote viewing, intelligence agencies attempted to gather secret information, ranging from layouts of military installations to the hiding places of kidnapped hostages, and even trying to predict major international events through psychic perception. Swann's remarkable performance brought countless surprises to this project, which intertwine science with the mysterious. However, Swann himself did not regard his abilities as mystical magic. He emphasized that this was part of the untapped potential of the human mind, something most people have yet to awaken. He said remote viewing is a skill that requires focus, training, and the right mindset. It's not a superpower to be used carelessly. He encouraged people to open their minds and explore the infinite possibilities within themselves. Speaking of Ingo Swann, another highly respected remote viewer is Joseph McMoneagle. A former U.S. Army veteran, McMoneagle later became what the CIA called a psychic spy, and is widely regarded as one of the most reliable remote viewers. His abilities weren't just theoretical. He played a crucial, practical role in numerous intelligence missions. This ex-soldier not only helped locate missing personnel and quickly gather vital intelligence on enemy military installations, but he also accurately predicted future technological developments, proving that his psychic perception went far beyond ordinary imagination. On one occasion, McMoneagle even used remote viewing to map out the internal structure and location of a secret Chinese submarine base, a revelation that stunned the Pentagon, as no conventional intelligence source could have provided such precise information. His many successful cases demonstrate that remote viewing is not just a theoretical concept, but a real, irreplaceable asset in field operations. McMoneagle's story has led many to seriously consider just how genuine and powerful this extrasensory ability truly is. The third must-mention figure is Pat Price. Originally a police officer, he was later recruited by the government to join the famous Project Stargate. Pat made quite a name for himself in the remote viewing world. His most iconic achievement was observing a highly classified Soviet military base, where he not only accurately sketched the internal equipment and layout, but also captured details only known to insiders, leaving intelligence agencies astonished. Even more chilling was Pat's claim that he could sense the emotions and psychological states of the guards at the base, not only understanding their mindset, but detecting subtle emotional fluctuations. This ability made him more than just a remote viewer. He was almost like a true mind reader, able to penetrate people's inner worlds and uncover secrets unseen by others. Some described him as a spy with a sixth sense, who didn't just see with his eyes but directly read information from the target's mind with his spirit. Of course, these remote viewing and psychic abilities have always been surrounded by controversy and skepticism. In 1995, the U.S. Congress officially shut down Project Stargate, citing a straightforward reason: the results could not be consistently replicated or rigorously verified by scientific standards. In an era demanding solid evidence, the project's ambiguity and uncertainty made continued funding and support untenable. Yet, flipping through the declassified files reveals mission results so accurate they're jaw-dropping. Many details perfectly match later confirmed facts. This leaves us wondering, was it all mere coincidence, or did someone truly possess extraordinary perceptual abilities beyond the ordinary? So the question comes back to the starting point. Do these remote viewers really possess psychic abilities, or was the U.S. intelligence community simply conducting a decades-long psychological experiment, a collective illusion? Honestly, no one can give a definitive answer. The scientific skepticism combined with secret government files creates an unsolvable mystery. Ingo Swann's story is more than just a legend. It challenges our very definition of reality and reveals the astonishing truth that human potential is far from fully understood. Do you believe that psychic perception, remote viewing, and psychic spies truly exist? Or was it all just a Cold War psychological warfare tool? The truth is waiting for you to discover. If you enjoyed today's content, please remember to subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates on more exciting stories. Leave a comment and tell us, do you believe in remote viewing? Or which case shocked you the most? Share this video with friends who are also interested in mysterious phenomena, so more people can explore the unknown together. Some truths in this world can only be seen with the mind. See you next time. Stay aware and keep exploring the unexplained.